What up, comic fam? Uh, you know, I just thought I'd hop back on. I was looking at my books and I just thought, you know what, I want to show my books off. And so that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna show off my books, and these are the best cover buys of 2022. Now, um, I've got to define what a cover buy is, and that's where it's not a key book. Okay, so now some of these are key books. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like big keys. So you know what I mean. Like they're not known for their keys. Rather unknown, I would imagine, um, in terms of like key collectability. Um, but yeah, I mean that's one, I guess, criteria. It has to be somewhat uh, the value of it has to be based on the cover art or the cover artist, something related to the cover of the book. And there are a lot of books that just that's the key. It's like iconic Jim Lee cover or iconic, you know, George Perez cover, and that's the key aspect. So a lot of these are those, and a lot of these are also keys by my own standard, and we'll get into. So if you're a Jim Lee collector, you probably want to just maybe this would interest you, but it's how I view. If you're gonna collect Jim Lee and you want to be thoughtful about what you're picking up, um, these list of books should uh, be on your list. Okay. Um, our first book, beautiful Brian Bolland art. Um, Wonder Woman Zero. And let me let you get a good look of the at the cover there. So this was a total cover buy. I mean, this is what I mean. You know, this book is $1 book, right? In terms of value, I'm sure it's sitting in a lot of '90s bins for $1 or less. So for me, this is a high grade copy. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting this graded just to have in the slab. But when I get enough top loaders, this will be in its own slab. So I mean, this is sort of like a work in progress, I guess. As we get books slabbed, my own personal plastic slabs would become available. So I guess that's something to consider to maybe uh, slab some of these pickups. At least the ones we think we can get high grades on. That would be the key. Like if we could, uh, get at least above mid grade, somewhere in the fine to VF. Um, that would be uh, a good submission, I think. You know, on some of the older books, getting like the 7.0 or higher on some of the Silver Age stuff, that would be pretty incredible, especially on Superman stuff. And so I think, um, yeah, like that's something to when I pick up books now, I'm going to be more wary of the grade, or at least parts of the book that where we think we can get an improvement on. So, for example, if there's warped or water damage, kind of those kinds of books that Roger looks out for, and now I'm looking out for, because again, with a good cleaning and a press, um, and maybe some dilution of uh, dilute water, um, to get some of the minerals out of water staining, which is, I think, what Roger attempted, and we'll see if he succeeded. Um, but yeah, I mean, those kinds of books, I think you'd see a lot. You could, first of all, you would see a lot of those books out there, right? Just wear and tear over 40, 50 years of being, essentially in a box somewhere in someone's home. Um, so you're going to get some of that, just that wear. And I think that's where, some of Roger's techniques would really come in handy, um, and make the book more presentable. All right, so that is our first uh, cover by of this video. Okay, we're going to continue on. I'm just going to put the books right here in front of me after I show them off. This is another cover by, and it's Michael Turner. Goodness, on one of my favorite characters, Supergirl. Okay, issue 50. Look at how beautiful that cover is. Look at the background. That background is just so, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a pretty shade of blue. You can't tell if she's in the clouds or, but it's beautiful. Michael Turner, masterpiece, if you ask me. Um, and yeah, I mean, I would imagine this is a key book because of the Michael Turner art. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't imagine there's any other reason other than maybe the 50th issue of Supergirl. I mean, those things happen all the time. Um, this next book, yeah, I mean, this is a high grade book. It's a high grade Silver Age book. Um, until you look at that little chunk missing off the cover. So there's a little, I don't know what that is. Like maybe a tape pull or something, but it pulled the some of the paper off the cover. But other than that, I mean, this book, look at the spine here, okay? Look how clean that spine is. I mean, this gets a VF all day long. I mean, the corners are sharp. It's really glossy. If you look at here, it's like glossy. Like the cover's still glossy, and I can't see how this couldn't get a 9. To be honest, for this age of a book, I mean, that is minuscule. So I mean, I might even get this graded. This would be a nice. So this is a book that reminds me of my son, um, Super Baby, because I used to play Super Baby with him. Um, I actually have a video on my Instagram, my personal Instagram, where I put this like cape on him. I kind of stand him up. He's wearing like, I think, red socks or something, and blue. He's wearing all blue pajamas, and it's super cute. He just kind of standing there, giggling and smiling, and yeah, I was just like saying, "Look, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Super Baby." It was a fun video. Um, what's up, guys? All right, thanks for hanging out. So we have our next book. This was a cover by slash signature book, and that's Marvel Fanfare 10. We got George Perez, his signature right there on the book, on the cover of the book. Um, this, and look at the back cover. This is just beautiful comic book. It's a beautiful comic book right there. Um, I gotta say, I want to collect fanfares. It's just when you, again, when I do the calculus of the space I have and where my core like wants are, um, this is a want. Is during my collecting sort of era period, but I feel like just like some of the pieces like this from the run are good enough, right? You don't have to collect the whole run. You can just pick and choose some of the nice artwork, and that's what we have here. We have just beautiful George Perez Black Widow artwork right there. That is classic artwork right there. Take a photo. Get in real close. See all look at all that webbing. Get the intricate webbing design. You might have even traced a real spider web on that one. All right. This next one. So I talk about all of these books in my PC are like dopamine drip books, meaning when I look at the books, I get that little dose of dopamine and happiness, and um, it's a good feeling, right? But then there are those books where you're full on like in love, like like it's the first month since you've been dating. Okay, it's that kind of like whoa, like blissful kind of happiness, right? Like you're really into this person, um, and and then that's sort of a flood of like good emotions and feelings, right? And that's this book. When I look at this book, there are only a few books in my collection that, and I'll outline which ones they are, but they're only. I mean, this is one of them, right? This is one of them, right? I just showed one of them. But this one is another one, and again, the like it's just such a lovely cover. And that's Chris Bachalo's Psylocke for Uncanny X-Men 467. Look at the colors on that. Psylocke's, the sword, the suit. Oh, that's just glorious. That's glorious right there. That is like, like first month dating uh, chemicals right there. All right. This is an this is another one. Um, this is another one, and I can see myself going down this rabbit hole of just picking up like lady covers. But we're gonna try to resist the ladies. Um, but in this instance, we lost, and that is Sensational She-Hulk number 43. Um, Beautiful John Byrne cover, hilarious cover, but exactly what is going to sell this book, right? I mean, she wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. These books did sell, um, and these books are still coveted and cherished by collectors. So we picked this one up um, for this cover. I mean, nothing happens in this book. This book is like $40 because of that cover right there. So uh, that one is definitely, I think, a must-have. Um, this one, you know, I think Roger could improve this one. I really do. This one may be one we save for Rogers next, the next season's submission. Um, but I mean, it presents so well. I don't even think it needs. Yeah, I mean, it's good as is. There's just a little bit of creasing here that I know with a press could really look much better. I just want to maybe get, and there's like a crease that goes all the way down this way. So I know if we press that out, that could just become more stark. So we'll advise. I think if Roger feels like we could improve this one, we'll send it. But if not, we'll keep it. But man, World's Finest. This 204 is a Neil Adams cover, and it's a Superman Wonder Woman cover where they're both on the cover. And tell me that doesn't look like Lois Lane, right? Like Wonder Woman. I mean, it looks like Lois Lane. Um, in like go-go boots. But irregardless, the artwork is incredible. These are two characters I adore. They're on the cover together. It's a World's Finest. Normally, you'd expect to see like Batman, but they did a run here where they did like Flash, Green Arrow. Who else did they do? I mean, of course they do Batman. Aquaman. They did one with Aquaman. So, and it was kind of like setting more DC characters up through their relationship with Superman. All right, so here we go. This next one, okay, so we're getting into the. All right, so these are pretty much all Jim Lee books now. Okay, these are all Jim Lee books, and these are my Jim Lee cover by keys. Okay, so if you're, let's say, you're an art collector. Okay, if you're an art collector, there's going to be certain pieces that represent the career or the art, the entire works of Jim Lee, right? There are going to be a few pieces that stand out, especially in relation to comic book collecting. And so we'll get into that. First off, this is a $40 book because it's a Jim Lee cover. That's all that is. There's no significance to this Amazing Heroes, which is, kind of reports on like industry stuff, hobby and industry stuff. But this is kind of a celebration of, again, Jim Lee's achievement of selling 8 million copies of a comic book. And we get this great Psylocke cover. Oh man, it's that. Ugh. I mean, if you want to do like a variant cover, because Marvel continues to just poach Jim Lee's artwork and come out with these like random like variant covers that sell. They sell well, and they're actually like high valued, some of them. I wouldn't necessarily focus on that though. But if they're gonna do it, they should do something like that, right? With this image here, just focus on her. But anyway, I think all of these books right now are just dopamine flood books. I basically, they're dopamine flood books. Okay, this next one is one that's unique to me it may not be something everybody buys into, but it's unique to me because of how awesome Sexy Psylocke PS, Sexy with a PS Psylocke, um, how awesome of a character she is. And that is, we have Uncanny X-Men 261, the newsstand copy here. Um, Again, this book, not a key. I mean, I think it's a key. It's a key that's not really a key. It's maybe like the first appearance of something. I don't know. It's not a big key. But one thing I will say, it's a big key to me because this is the first cover appearance of Sexy Psylocke. Sexy Psylocke is introduced a few issues back um, during the Mandarin appearance. That's Uncanny X Men. What is it? 256? No, sorry. Yeah, 256, 7, and 8. Those are the issues, I think. 256, 7, and 8. Um, so she's introduced in issues 256 through 8, just the new persona of the new Psylocke. And then we get, her in her PS sexy glory, um, you know, into the book, midway into the book. And then we see her for the first time on a cover on 261. So for me, if you're collecting, if you're a Sexy Psylocke collector, okay, yeah, you can go out and get those other issues. Those other issues are big too. That's where Jim Lee introduces Sexy Psylocke. But don't forget this one. Don't sleep on this one. And in terms of artwork, right? In terms of artwork, unless you're buying internal pages, this cover is going to be kind of like a museum piece right there. And she looks fabulous. She definitely is Asian on this cover, okay? She's got the Asian features. And yeah, I mean, what more is there to say right there? That's just Jim Lee goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, I'm in love. Goodness. All right. So we're talking about like first artwork, right? First cover artwork. What's up, Cantonese Comic Kid? Thanks for hanging out, man. So we're talking about first, again, first cover artwork. Jim Lee stuff. You want to go after the key pieces, right? And that's what we have here. We have a newsstand, Superman 119. This is a high grade book. I mean, this would come back in the nines, potentially 9.8. Well, got some spine ticks. So in the nines, this would come back in the nines. Newsstand, Superman, Man of Steel. This is his first Superman cover in comic books. And there'd be a lot of Superman covers to come. So, this is like early DC contributions here. But the first Superman artwork by Jim Lee. Got the newsstand. Go out and get this copy if you're a Jim Lee collector, because this is it. That's the first Superman. Okay. On a comic book cover. Now, if there's a character Jim Lee's drawn more of than Superman in the last decade, it's this next character, and that's Batman. I think most fans, and I'm a little bit torn because I do recognize how awesome Jim Lee's Batman looks. Okay. And like Superman, there's just a classic element to Superman that you have to capture. Um, and so it's a more rigid, like you can't really stray from the design of the Superman look. But in terms of Batman, Batman's look has just constantly evolved. I mean, it looks robotic now. I think the suits Batman's wearing these days, but like Jim Lee, what he brings to the those little variations you can give a character through the suit design. Batman is like we've seen so many versions of Jim Lee Batman. It's ridiculous, but in terms of a classic look, we have here Batman Black and White #1. This is Jim Lee's first Batman. Okay, his first work on Batman on a cover in black and white. This is a great book. You should just pick it up for the artwork, but it's also key because it's his first Batman. So if you're a Jim Lee collector like I am, this is a book you're going to target. You're going to target in high grade, and you're going to probably want to get it slabbed at some point. Not pay a lot for the book. Okay, you can get it for $5, so don't pay a lot for it. This next one is just Jim Lee's. I think, now correct me if I'm wrong. I think if there's a guy out watching this video who's going to let us know if I'm wrong or not, it's going to be Fanboy Prime. So Fanboy Prime, correct me if I'm wrong. This, I believe, is Jim Lee's first Green Lantern cover. His first Green Lantern. Now, it's not his first Green Lantern work in books, because Jim would draw like Green Lantern in Batman Hush. He'd draw him in like Superman as well. I mean, he would draw him a lot in his serial runs. But I think this particular book, this is a book that, yeah, it published right around the time Hush came out. So we hadn't seen a Green Lantern cover. We know there's interior work, but we hadn't seen a cover. And this is our first DC Green Lantern. It's a Green Lantern book, but it's a new design, right? But look at that suit design. It's really, really cool. I like the logo redesign too. So yeah, you get this sort of like cool new, iconography, or what do you call it? Font. You get a new Green Lantern font and a cool lantern design, new design. I'm sure the purists wouldn't like it, but it was something new. And then this is, yeah, I really look at this book as like, for me, I don't know how other people will look at it, but for me, I have, I think Jim Lee has built a relationship because he lives in Southern California, right? Jim Lee lives in Southern. I don't know if he's moved to New York. If he maybe has two places. I know DC is headquartered in New York. I mean, it's not. I mean, these days, does an executive really need to be based? You just come in for like board meetings, right, or just meetings or whatever. But I think Jim would be based in Southern Cal with his family and just doing kind of remote work, maybe. But anyway, he is in Southern California. Has lived there, raised his kids, and just he's been there pretty much since the Image days. And uh, again, they've had a special because of the proximity and because of all the work they did to promote image and all that stuff through Comic Cons. Jim Lee and all those guys, all the image guys, have a very robust relationship with San Diego Comic Con, and those guys are ambassadors for the Comic Con. And now in Jim Lee's new position, he can leverage the DC brand exclusively at the San Diego Comic Con, and that's something that that relationship over time has built. And this is from I think 2013 when they released a variant cover for Superman Unchained. This is the San Diego Comic Con exclusive variant, but just look at that beautiful Superman art. Um, okay, so it's a black and white. He's ripping off his dress shirt with a tie, and yeah, he's about to take flight. So awesome Jim Lee artwork. Um, Incredible piece. I think in terms of the criteria we set out, that it's not a key, although Superman Unchained 1 is a key because it's a first issue. So this technically, I guess, doesn't count. But it's a cover by. I mean, it's a variant cover. The other issue 1 cover is great. It's Superman without the red underwear, which I'm not a big fan of. But this one conceals all that fact. I mean, this could be Superman from any era, but you see the new design suit right there, the kind of the raised collar. But the classic Superman S right there. So yeah, I mean, I would love to have this signed by Jim. But there's so many books I want signed by Jim. It's accumulating, and again, resources, time. Like, I can't go to San Diego every year. I mean, he's got to come up here for me to get books signed, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm just gonna bite the bullet, go to Rose City Comic Con, and if he shows, he shows. If he doesn't, we're still there, meeting Art Adams, Adam Hughes, and Dustin Nguyen, and all these comic book creatives in Portland. Yeah, I mean, really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. I've just been having a lot of fun this summer, and a lot of what I pick up is just what I like. So a lot of cover buys, a lot of keys, as you see, but a lot of the stuff I just collect. I collect Psylocke covers. Picked up some Psylocke covers. I collect Wonder Woman covers, beautiful Wonder Woman covers. Um, I mean, I wanted to pick up these books. We were just kind of waiting for the She-Hulk hubbub to die down. It didn't really die down. She-Hulk books didn't really fall in price, at least not at the LCSs where I were. They've retained their resilient value, and in fact, they're probably, uh, in terms of being sought after, they're probably still highly sought after. Um, and of course, a book I'm just like right now, just like I just love this book. I mean, it's beautiful. You know, in Naruto. So if a lot of people kind of maybe wonder if you look at my YouTube thumbnail, it's what you see is an image of an eyeball, and that eyeball is a Mangekyo Sharingan, um, which comes from the character uh, Itachi, um, who's this who's from the he's from the clan. Oh, well, what's their clan called? Uh, anyway, it's from the Itachi clan, but it's a special power that um, it can. Well, his special power is with that eyeball, he can lock you into this uh, psychosis, and he can control your thoughts and pretty much make you relive your worst nightmares over and over and just psychologically traumatize you. And all you're doing, and then all he's doing is like hypnotizing you to just like be motionless, and it's a powerful like magic, and we call that magic genjutsu. A genjutsu is like that kind of hold, like you can't break free. Your mind is trapped, and he's got you basically your mind trapped in this like you can play with whatever, send whatever kind of thoughts and images and make you think whatever you want. And so yeah, this book puts me in a genjutsu. Basically, it's just like I'm just like speechless, and I just kind of want to stare at it. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful cover. The color, the swords. She's got two swords there, and how they kind of interplay with one another to show you the design, right? She's giving you two angles. Her suit, oh my gosh, just the light reflecting off her suit. I mean, that could be what? It could be like latex. It could be latex. I mean, it just shimmers there, and then you got the characters in the back. You got Bishop, got Storm. You got, I think, the some version of Jean Grey and Wolverine. Core cast of characters right there. So yeah, um, 22. So this is just a fraction, though. I mean, I know I put the best cover buys of 2023, but I mean, most of what I picked up is a cover buy for the most part. Not every comic book I have is a cover buy, obviously. Some of it is just like key, and the cover we could care less about. Um, I mean, I'm trying to think of a book like that in my collection. I'm sure I could think of one, but I don't like to. I don't like to pick those up. I realize like I don't want to keep books like that in my collection. So if it's not an artist that's in my top, and that's the thing, I'm going to expand my list now rather than. Um, so I was going to scoop Brian Bolland into the top 10, and scoot another artist out of the top 10. But rather than do that, I figure we just expand 11 through 20. So I'm going to, at some point, go through my artist list. So I already shared my artist list 1 through 10. What we're going to do is I'm going to share my artist list 11 through 20 so that we can at least have my top 20 artists that I'm going to collect. Um, and this list, the list will be informed by my PC. Basically, I'm gonna look a little bit at the data. I mean, I have the data in terms of like how many books by that artist or the covers by that artist that I have. Um, but it's going to be a more feel thing because I have to filter all the rankings. Um, and I can tell you right now, 11 on the list is Brian Bolland. Um, Brian Bolland is, I mean, I've always been aware of his work, um, but coming back into collecting and looking at Bolland art, uh, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking. And I wish there were Bolland Psylocke covers, but those Wonder Woman covers are fantastic. So I can kind of try to imagine Bolland's uh, kind of try to meld the two into a Psylocke image. But yeah, his artwork is incredible. Other names you'll probably see on that list: Alex Ross. You may see. You may see. There's another one. Like you may see Gil Kane. You may see Mike Mignola. You may see Mike Mignola. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about the list yet. I mean, there's so many artists out there, and we have so many comic books. I really got to kind of dig through kind of while I'm organizing and put that list together. So we are, yes, I'm still talking about Jim Lee. We are still, whatchamacallit, we're still filtering through our collection, our books, and yeah, we're going to come out with some, I think some good books. Yeah, we're going to come out with some good books. Um, I'm gonna show off this again because I just showed it off in my previous video, but just want to show it off again. And I'm gonna be doing an Instagram post of this as well. We got the Superman versus Batman Jim Lee Hex backpack. This is a Comic Con backpack. So I have the ultimate Jim Lee swag in my hands right now. Only 650 of these were produced, and yeah, I'm one of the lucky 650 that have the Superman versus Batman version of that backpack, the Hex version 2 of Jim Lee Hex DC Comics collaboration. It's an incredible backpack. It's huge. You can safely carry around and store slabs in that thing, and still have room for like a PC, laptop. I mean, and still have room for like your phone and like all your money and just basically everything. You can lock it up too. So it's a pretty secure, cool looking bag. And again, I got that swag. There's no other time I could do it. It's perfect timing, because come if this thing were launched in November, I probably have $0 to buy that. So um, it's a good thing it dropped in summer. So this summer has been awesome in terms of pickups. The Jim Lee swag. I gotta admit, it feels good to have the backpack. When I hit the cons, I'll definitely be flexing. I'll be flexing at the con. I'll be like, "This is my Jim Lee bag." People will notice. I think people will notice. Hey, what's he got in that bag? But a lot of Jim Lee. I could make a whole costume out of the bag. Like I could be the otaku tour guide and dress up as Itachi, and that be my bag, dude. We could do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, um, Uchiha. That's the name of Itachi's clan, Uchiha. Uh, Man, I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but it's Uchiha. So Uchiha, again, the Genjutsu thing, that's a reference to the Genjutsu thing. Uchiha, Itachi Uchiha is the character, and he comes from the Uchiha clan. He viciously murders his entire clan, save his brother. Um, he even kills his parents, and he's made out to be this like evil character, but it's revealed that he's actually the hero of this entire um, on the clan, the village side. He's the uh, hero of the Wind Clan. What's their clan called? It's the Fire Clan or something. I forget what it's called, but it's Naruto's clan. The whole village that the Uchiha and the Naruto folks are from. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to organizing my comic books. This was a fun hangout. I love sharing what I collect with you guys, and hopefully, if you're into Jim Lee collecting like I am, you will take my selections with yeah, you'll just go out and get the books, uh, take advantage of my selections. So we'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays, gents and ladies, and we'll see you in the next one.